You're standing in the kitchen, phone still in your hand after another call that left you feeling small. Maybe it was a comment that sounded like concern but felt like control. Maybe it was a guilt-filled sentence that made you question yourself again. You didn't argue. You stayed calm. You tried to explain. And still you walk away feeling drained, like something inside you has been taken without your permission. And the hardest part is this: it's your family. So you tell yourself you should be more patient. You tell yourself they don't mean it that way. You try to keep the peace, even when it costs you your own. But something inside you is starting to wake up. There's a point many women reach where they realize that love does not have to feel like pressure. And later in this conversation, I'm going to show you the exact moment when you stop feeling guilty for protecting yourself, even with family. I'm also going to explain why the moment you stop over-explaining yourself, their behavior often changes in ways you didn't expect. We'll come back to both of those. For now, let's talk about why this feels so difficult. When it comes to family, your nervous system is wired differently. These are the people you grew up around, the people whose approval may have shaped how you see yourself. So when tension appears, your instinct is not distance. Your instinct is repair. You try to smooth things over. You explain your intentions. You adjust your behavior so they don't get upset. And for a long time, this feels like the right thing to do. But over time, if the pattern doesn't change, something begins to wear down inside you. You start noticing that your effort is one-sided, that no matter how calmly you speak, you're still misunderstood, that no matter how much you give, it never feels like enough. This is where many people start chasing peace. You try harder to be understood. You respond quickly to avoid conflict. You carry conversations longer than you should, just to keep things from breaking. But here is the truth that most people struggle to accept. The more you chase peace, the less peaceful you feel. Let that stay with you. The more you chase peace, the less peaceful you feel. Because chasing doesn't create balance. It creates dependency. It places you in a position where you are responsible for managing everyone else's emotions while neglecting your own. And over time, that drains you. This is where silence becomes necessary. But silence with family feels different. It can feel wrong. You might think, what if they misunderstand me? What if they think I don't care? What if this creates even more distance? Those thoughts are real. They come from years of conditioning where keeping the connection felt like your responsibility. But there is another truth, one that many women only discover after emotional exhaustion. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. Let that settle in. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. When you stop reacting to every comment, when you stop explaining every decision, when you stop trying to correct every misunderstanding, something important happens. You create space. And in that space, the real dynamic begins to show itself. Some family members will notice your shift. They may question it. They may try to pull you back into old patterns. They may even react emotionally because the dynamic they were used to is changing. Others will remain exactly the same, and both responses tell you something important. Because protecting your peace is not about changing them. It's about changing your role in the pattern. When you stop chasing approval, when you stop trying to manage how they feel about you, you begin to reclaim something you may have slowly lost, yourself. But this is not easy in the beginning. Silence can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like you're doing something wrong even when you're not. You may feel the urge to explain yourself one more time, just to clear things up, just to make sure everything is okay. That urge is familiar. It's the part of you that learned to keep harmony at any cost. But the truth is, harmony that requires you to abandon yourself is not real harmony. And this is where the real shift begins. Because in the next part of this conversation, we're going to go deeper into what actually happens when you step back from toxic family patterns, and how to handle the guilt, the pressure, and the urge to go back to who you used to be. When you begin to step back, the first shift does not happen in your family, it happens inside you. For a long time, your attention has been outward, focused on managing reactions, preventing conflict, and keeping things smooth. Stepping back interrupts that pattern, and your nervous system notices it immediately. At first, it can feel uncomfortable, even wrong. You may feel like you're being distant, like you're not doing your part. That discomfort is not a sign that you're making a mistake. It's a sign that you're breaking a habit that has been running for a long time. The psychology behind this is simple but powerful. When you constantly respond, explain, and adjust yourself, you reinforce the dynamic. You teach people what to expect from you. They learn that no matter what they say or how they act, you will come back, smooth things over, and keep the connection intact. When you stop doing that, the pattern breaks. And when patterns break, people react. Some family members will feel the change right away. They may become more persistent, they may call more, question your behavior, or even try to make you feel guilty for the distance. This is not because you've done something wrong. It's because the role you used to play is no longer available. Others may respond with silence of their own. They may not reach out at all, as if nothing has changed. Both responses give you information. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. It shows you who is relying on your constant effort and who is capable of meeting you with balance. It reveals whether the connection was mutual or maintained mostly by you. But while this external shift is happening, the real challenge is internal. The urge to go back to your old pattern will rise. You may feel it suddenly, like a wave. A thought appears, maybe I should just call and clear things up. Maybe I should explain so they don't misunderstand me. This urge can feel strong because it is familiar. It once helped you avoid conflict. It once made you feel like you were keeping the peace. But now it keeps you stuck. So when that urge appears, pause. Do not act immediately. Give yourself a moment of space. Even a few seconds can create distance between the feeling and your reaction. Take a slow breath and ask yourself an honest question. If I reach out right now, what am I really trying to fix? Most of the time, you're not fixing the situation. You're trying to reduce your own discomfort. You're trying to quiet the anxiety that comes from stepping into a new way of being. But discomfort is part of growth. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. Instead of reacting, redirect your energy. Stand up, move your body, walk outside, change your environment for a few minutes. This helps your nervous system settle and gives your mind space to reset. Another practical step is to write down what you want to say, but don't send it. Let your thoughts come out fully. Say everything you would have said in that message. Then close it. You've released the emotion without returning to the old cycle. These small actions build something important inside you. Self-trust. You begin to see that you can feel the urge without obeying it. You can sit with discomfort and still choose yourself. And as this happens, your focus needs to shift back to your daily life. When you're caught in family tension, your energy becomes narrow. Your thoughts revolve around what they said, what they meant, and how to respond. That focus slowly drains your sense of self. Stepping back gives that energy back to you. Your mornings can become yours again. Instead of waking up and checking messages or replaying conversations, you can start your day with something that builds you. Movement, quiet time, something that grounds you in your own body. Your day can include moments where you invest in your own growth. Learning something new, spending time with people who respect your boundaries, doing things that bring you a sense of calm. The more you fill your life with things that support you, the less control the old dynamic has over you. This is how your identity begins to shift. You are no longer the one who holds everything together at your own expense. You become someone who values connection, but not at the cost of your peace. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. And as this new version of you becomes stronger, something interesting often happens. The people who are used to your old behavior start to respond differently. Some try to reconnect. Some test your boundaries. Some may even come back in a way that feels unexpected. And when that moment comes, how you respond will define whether this change becomes permanent or temporary. When they come back, and many of them will in some way, the moment can feel confusing. A message appears. A call comes in. The tone may be softer. The energy may feel different. And a part of you wants to believe that everything has changed. But this is where your growth is tested. Because the goal was never just distance. The goal was clarity. So when they return, you don't rush. You don't fall back into the same pace, the same emotional availability, the same automatic responses. You slow everything down. You observe, not just to what they say, but to what they do over time. You set boundaries not with anger, but with calm certainty. You decide what you will engage in and what you will not. If a conversation turns into guilt or pressure, you don't argue. You step back again. If respect is present, you allow connection, but gradually. This is how standards are lived, not announced. You don't need long explanations. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your consistency becomes the message. Your behavior shows that access to you is no longer automatic. It is earned through respect, through balance, through mutual effort. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. So even in reconnection, you carry that with you. You no longer abandon yourself just to keep the peace. You no longer trade your comfort for approval. You meet them where they meet you, nothing more, nothing less. And if they sense that you are serious about this change, one of two things will happen. They will adjust and meet you at a healthier level, or they will resist because the old dynamic no longer benefits them. Both outcomes are clarity now. There is another path you must be prepared for. The one where they don't come back. The one where the silence continues. The one where no apology arrives, no understanding is offered, no effort is made. This is where many people struggle the most, because it can feel like confirmation of your deepest fear, that you didn't matter enough, that the connection was not as strong as you believed. But look at it honestly. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. It protects you from continuing to invest in a relationship that could not meet you with the same level of care. It reveals the truth that effort alone cannot create mutual respect. Closure, in this case, is something you give yourself. You stop waiting for the perfect explanation. You stop replaying every moment trying to understand what you could have done differently. You accept what their actions have already shown you. And then, slowly, you begin to move forward, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You carry the lessons, not the weight. You recognize the patterns you no longer accept. You become more aware of your limits, your needs, your values. And you bring that awareness into every future connection. This is how dignity is built, quietly, consistently, without needing validation from anyone else, because at the end of all this, there is one truth that stands above everything else. Silence reveals truth either way. It reveals who respects you when you stop overgiving. It reveals who values you when you stop chasing. It reveals whether the connection was real or simply maintained by your effort. And once you see that truth clearly, you cannot unsee it. So let's bring this together simply. You stepped back, and it felt uncomfortable but necessary. You resisted the urge to chase even when it was strong. You allowed silence to create space, and in that space, patterns became clear. Some people shifted, some didn't. And through all of it, you began to return to yourself. That is the real win. Here is one clear step you can take starting today. The next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, pause and wait 10 minutes. Just 10, no message, no call, no reaction. Sit with the feeling, breathe through it, and let it pass. In that small space, you are retraining your mind and reclaiming your power. Silence is not rejection. Silence is protection. And the more you live that truth, the more your life begins to feel like your own again. You don't need to fight for respect. You don't need to chase connection. You stand in your self-respect, calm and steady, knowing that the right people will meet you there. And if you're ready to go deeper into building unshakable emotional boundaries and protecting your energy without guilt, watch the next video.